Greetings to everyone from Cape Town, South Africa. I'm Kevin Govender, and I'm with the IAU Office of Astronomy for Development. I'll be giving you an overview of this office today. Thank you to everyone at the OAE and the IAU Shore Workshop for inviting me to this. So let me start by sharing my screen. So the IAU Office of Astronomy for Development, what is it that we're all about? Well, you've all seen a picture of the Earth from space. This is a sort of flattened version of that. Now, on this planet, we have many, many challenges. And when we look at the detail of where we are in terms of development, we have a picture more like this. This is from the United Nations Human Development Index. Now, back in 2009, the IAU decided what is it that we as the astronomy community can do towards contributing to development. And so using all the different aspects that, that astronomy has, from the technology and skills to the science and research aspects, but also the fact that astronomy also overlaps with culture and society. Using all these aspects, the IAU decided to establish a strategic plan, and the vision for the OAD was set forth as Astronomy for a Better World. And the idea is, let's try and use all these different aspects of astronomy to try and make the world a better place. Now, how do we define what a better place is, or what development means? So we've used the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. This is the successor to the previous Millennium Development Goals that was around when the OAD was originally established. But in 2015, these Sustainable Development Goals were established, and so we use this as our target. And so we look at any way in which astronomy can play a part in contributing to these SDGs. And for example, the projects that we've supported deals with astro-tourism, which might link to goal 8 and 9, to capacity building workshops that link to quality education, activities targeted at disadvantaged or underrepresented groups to look at SDG number 10. The idea is that we challenge the community and within astronomy and beyond astronomy to find ways in which aspects of astronomy can apply to the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, we have a team in Cape Town. It's a relatively small team that helps to coordinate our activities. We've tried to have a balance between astronomy. So Necsa is our astronomer, and we've got Tawanda, who's a development economist, so that they bring both their fields together. And then we have Ram, who manages all our operations, Noah manages all our administration, and then we have fellows. Nikita works on big data projects, Amidou works on astro-tourism, and Marie works on COVID-19 related aspects. So beyond this team, we have a global team where there's 11 regional offices and language centers around the world. And this really forms the backbone of the structure of the OAD. This is an incredible, diverse set of people from around the world, and it's really quite incredible to work with such a diverse group. This was taken at a meeting in January this year, and the spirit of it is that the OAD itself can't know what is best for different parts of the world. So we need these different offices, different people that would be able to guide activities in different parts of the world. We've also got several partners, and I want to stress that we try to establish partners from across fields. So we've got we've established agreements and partnerships with people with organizations from social sciences, from development economics, from the space community, but also from the astronomy community. And you know, the OAD is really trying to be a space where you can bring together different fields to see how the aspects of astronomy can be best applied to development. And that's because astronomy is just one part of a bigger picture. So in this diagram, which you'll find a version in the IAU strategic plan, we have astronomy, which is one field, but there's also many other fields of science. And all these fields have different tools, some tools in common. And by coming together, we can use these different tools to impact on particular actions or conduct particular research across disciplines that would ultimately have a positive influence on the sustainable development goals. So it's within this broader field of science for development. In January this year, we teamed up with the International Science Council, which is really an effort that expresses the importance of interdisciplinary science. This International Science Council was established from the merger between IAU, which represents the natural sciences, and the International Social Science Council, which represents the social sciences. So we teamed up with them, with their regional office for Africa, and we had a workshop on science for development. And this, why I'm giving you this is that this is the context within which we work, is that, you know, astronomy alone can't solve the problems of the world. We need to work with other sciences and other partners so that we can most effectively contribute to making the world a better place. Now, coming down to our projects, every year we have a call for proposals, and this call for proposals looks at projects like ranging across many different aspects of development. There's projects on astro-tourism. We funded projects on astronomy for diplomacy, astronomy to reduce inequalities, like astronomy within refugee camps. We've had projects dealing with capacity building, projects relating to inclusion, like astronomy for the visually impaired. There's been a number of astronomy workshops trying to stimulate STEM education at universities and schools. We funded infrastructure, we funded exchange programs, we funded projects dealing with art and astronomy, media and communication, teacher training. So a lot of these projects, you know, we're run by non-professional astronomers or groups from outside. And in total, we've had about 159 projects that we funded over the years, about 850,000 euro. But these are out of over 1,000 applications that we received. So there's a huge database of ideas that aim to use astronomy for development. This is a map of the spread of the projects, and you know, the idea is that this is seed funding. So we try to stimulate projects, and then if we see the projects are working, we try to expand them. The SDGs that have been impacted so far are highlighted here. We haven't reached out to all the SDGs, but we have sort of left that challenge open, that if there's a way that people can find that for astronomy to influence in some way some of the development goals, then, you know, bring it on. We have this annual call, and we're constantly looking for partners. In terms of the numbers, and this is important for in terms of our collaborations with the OAE, with the education community, is that by far the greatest number of projects are targeted at SDG 4, which deals with quality education. Now, it's often that is seen as one of the biggest impacts that astronomy can make, that we can use astronomy to stimulate education at all levels. So these are the projects that we funded so far, but you know, there's a lot of information, there's a lot of resources that have come out of it. So we have on our website a projects resources database. We also have an online course on astronomy for development to help people who want to propose projects. My colleague Ram has done an initial impact study of the projects, trying to figure out what was the impact of these projects over the years, and this is something that we want to continue building on, and so that projects, each of these projects, can build on the experience of all the other projects. From these projects emerged 5 flagship ideas: knowledge and skills from astronomy, technology from astronomy, stimulating economies like through astro-tourism, addressing inequality, and science diplomacy. Now we've taken on 3 of these projects as the flagships to focus on immediately, and these really emerged from all the projects that we funded and input from our regional offices. Now, this is really a picture of the world that we are trying to change. We're trying to have a significant impact, especially on countries that have a lower human development index. But really, when we look at this map, the effort is really a global one, because COVID-19 has changed that picture. And it's some of the sort of wealthy countries that have been most affected by this pandemic. Now, as the world turns around, and earlier this year we saw this taking place, and we issued a rapid turnaround call for COVID-19 proposals. There's been several other activities that we've done, some in partnership with the OAE and the OAO, the Office of Astronomy Outreach, like the call to action to the astronomy community. We've also got various resources on our website related to COVID-19 that you can see. Now, the OAD is sort of small and flexible enough that when such a thing happens, we've been able to change our activities quite quickly. And this extraordinary call that we sponsored, we funded 43 COVID-19 related projects, and it ranges from hygiene support at camps at these refugee camps, providing PPE and food parcels around observatories, to COVID-19 data analysis. The idea is any way in which astronomy can help to alleviate the effects of the pandemic. So when we look at the world, we can't be sort of we shouldn't use the bias of developed world or developing world. This is a global project, a global initiative, and the spirit with which the OAD works is really in terms of the famous pale blue dot. This was an image from Cassini called the Day the Earth Smiled. But really it is about all of us coming together and trying to figure out how astronomy can maximally impact on this world, because it is, after all, one planet, and we need to come together to really make the world a better place. With that, thank you. I'll be happy to be contacted. Thank you very much.